I'm so happy to announce my new album, Happy Together. When my orchestra and I were finally able to get together again.
André Rieu is one of the most loved and successful artists on
The classical music world was shaken by the heartbreaking news of André Rieu's declining health, prompting his son, Pierre Rieu, to bid a deeply emotional farewell. Known as the King of the Waltz, André has touched millions through the Johann Strauss Orchestra for over 5 decades. Now, as his family and fans face a difficult time, many are left wondering why Pierre's goodbye felt so final. After 75 years of a life filled with love and timeless melodies, André's legacy is being reflected upon. Pierre, who worked closely with his father on numerous artistic projects, was the first to share the news, leaving fans around the world worried after rumors began circulating about a heart attack. Concerns for the 74-year-old maestro intensified as his health deteriorated, forcing him to cancel a string of sold-out performances across the UK, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand. The situation worsened further when approximately 40,000 fans in Mexico City learned their long-awaited concerts had also been cancelled. Initially believed to be a severe flu, doctors later discovered André had contracted a virus that had infected his vestibular nerve, affecting his balance and coordination. In light of this, Pierre Rieu addressed fans and spoke candidly about his father's condition and the future of the Johann Strauss Orchestra, which includes musicians who have played alongside André for over 25 years. Pierre shared this sad update in hopes of comforting their global fan base. Due to his father's major health concerns, André had no choice but to make tough decisions regarding his tour schedule. After cancelling for Mexico City shows at the last minute, Pierre explained, "It was hard for my 74-year-old dad to handle the change in air, the jet lag, and the virus that was going around. Now he needs to rest to get better." These cancellations were devastating for the 40,000 ticket holders and for the entire team involved. The grueling 14-hour trip from the Netherlands, arriving just a day before the concerts, and adjusting to a 7-hour time difference didn't help. The concerts were also scheduled at Mexico's National Auditorium, which sits 2.5 kilometers above sea level, a challenging environment for anyone, let alone someone battling illness. Pierre expressed how severe the situation became, admitting his father's legs were shaking and he was terrified he wouldn't be able to continue. "This kind of choice isn't made lightly," Pierre stressed, acknowledging how heartbreaking it was to let down thousands of fans. The financial toll was also enormous, with 125 team members needing to leave suddenly, added travel expenses, and the burden of ticket refunds. Their insurance did not cover these unexpected costs. Eventually, it was confirmed that André was suffering from something more serious than just the flu. A virus had infected his auditory nerve, leading to issues with balance and spatial awareness, making it dangerous for him to perform. Pierre also spoke about his father's previous health issues, recalling that they first feared it was a recurrence of a balance problem André experienced in 2010. Fortunately, the virus did not affect the same balance organs, but lingering weaknesses in his body remained a concern. The instability heightened fears for André's safety on stage, as the possibility of him falling was very real, something neither he nor his fans could accept. Although rumors of a heart attack circulated, Pierre clarified that it was actually a member of the Johann Strauss Orchestra who had suffered a heart attack, which had caused an earlier delay of shows in the UK. "I'm very sorry to say that I have to cancel my shows in London, Birmingham, Manchester, and Glasgow," Pierre had announced at the time, reiterating that the situations were unrelated. Despite the setbacks, Pierre remains hopeful about his father's recovery. However, he admitted that given André's age, it might be time to reconsider the intensity of their touring schedule. "We were doing about 140 shows a year not long ago. Now we're aiming for around 80, though we're still a bit over 100, he said. André's most recent visit to Mexico, which began joyfully in March 2024, took a sharp turn after just 2 performances. Following his second show in Mexico City, he became gravely ill with a severe flu and fever. His condition quickly deteriorated, forcing the cancellation of 4 sold-out concerts. Pierre detailed how his father's body was overwhelmed by the physical strain, explaining that he could no longer continue performing in such demanding conditions. "Everything seemed to happen at once, which took a serious toll on André Rieu's health," his son Pierre explained. "It was simply too much for the 74-year-old musician to handle." Pierre recalled how his father's legs were shaking, he was scared he wouldn't be able to keep going. Although André had performed on stage while sick in the past, this time felt different. "My dad has gone on stage with a fever many times and rarely gets the flu," Pierre said. But this time, it was just too much. One of the major challenges that worsened the situation was the physical environment of Mexico City. The elevation difference, about 2.5 kilometers above sea level, was hard on everyone. Pierre noted, "There's just not as much air. In the past few days, all of us had frequent nosebleeds. People even thought the violinists were suffering heart attacks, but in reality, they were battling fevers and severe flu symptoms." All of these conditions, coupled with André's surroundings, overwhelmed the seasoned performer. After the trip, Rieu quickly returned home to Maastricht at the end of March 2024, where he lives with his wife Marjorie. Being back in a familiar environment helped his recovery. Meanwhile, the process of issuing refunds began immediately, with the first reimbursements scheduled for April 3, 2024. Although fans got their money back, they lost the chance to experience another special moment with their musical hero. The financial consequences were massive. Pierre said the entire 125-member team had to pack up and leave unexpectedly, which was disappointing for around 40,000 fans. When the extra travel costs and refunds were added up, it became clear that the situation was financially overwhelming, and to make matters worse, none of it was covered by their insurance. After returning home, André started to feel better. He very rarely cancels concerts, so having to withdraw from 4 sold-out shows in Mexico at the last minute hit him hard. It led him to rethink his plans for future tours. "I don't want to put myself through that pain anymore," André told Pierre. Pierre was honest about the situation. "I really don't think we'll go back. We're thinking about leaving that country as it is." Initially, there were discussions about rescheduling the missed performances, but the team later concluded that it wouldn't be possible to make up the shows. This has led many to believe that this may have been André's final visit to Mexico. Doctors have since confirmed that what was initially thought to be a severe flu was actually a virus affecting André's auditory nerve, a condition that significantly impacted his balance. Although earlier rumors suggested a heart attack, those turned out to be false. The truth was more complex and deeply concerning. André couldn't even stand properly, let alone lead an orchestra. As Pierre emphasized, the high altitude of Mexico City only made things worse. While the condition sounds frightening, medical experts note that vestibular neuritis, what André is believed to have, often resolves on its own within a few weeks. However, André's previous battle with this illness in 2010 lasted much longer. Back then, he had to take a long break from performing and allow months of recovery before returning to the stage. Medical professionals warn that although the condition typically clears up, it can return. About 5% of cases experience recurrence. This is exactly what happened to André in 2010, when a similar viral infection affected his balance nerve and forced him to cancel an entire world tour. As for treatment, there's currently no way to repair the damaged nerve directly. Instead, doctors focus on managing the symptoms. Medications can help ease dizziness and nausea, but they can't eliminate the condition entirely. If symptoms persist, vestibular rehabilitation therapy, VRT, is often recommended to help the body adapt. André, now more aware of his limits and health, reflected on how this experience has reshaped his priorities. "I now only work on things I love because I changed my life," he said. Having learned from the past, André is approaching this stage of his career with caution and care. To help André Rieu recover from his illness, a specialized form of physical therapy was used, which involved exercises to improve his balance. These exercises had proven helpful in the past, as they aided his recovery from a similar condition back in 2010. One of the key contributors to André's recovery was an Australian fan from Perth, Bill Henshaw, who had suffered from the same condition. Bill's advice and the exercises he suggested were crucial for André's healing process. These exercises included moving the eyes in certain directions, slowly turning the head, and performing balance tasks that gradually became more difficult. Pierre mentioned that André received many letters from doctors, friends, and medical professionals offering advice on how to get better, but it was Bill's letter and the exercises he recommended that truly made a difference. "If not for his health tips, I'd probably still be desperate for the right care," André admitted. Even after his improvement, André continues to do these exercises daily to strengthen his immune system and maintain his balance. Although he feels better, he knows that his balance isn't fully restored, and he remains cautious about his health. In an official update, André shared from his home in Maastricht that he is recovering well, though he expressed how much it saddened him to cancel performances for his fans in the UK, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand. He reassured everyone that he would recover quickly and return to perform in these places. His son, Pierre, was open about the severity of André's condition, stating that aside from the flu, there were no other major health issues. Pierre clarified that André was indeed recovering well, directly disproving earlier reports suggesting that he was suffering from any life-threatening conditions. Pierre also shared how excited André was about his upcoming concerts, including the one in Liverpool on April 18, 2024. Despite his health setbacks, André's passion for music remained unchanged. Reflecting on his illness, André remarked, "When I was sick, I saw for myself what my life is like when I can't do my job. It drove me crazy. I didn't agree with that at all." His determination to return to the stage, despite the necessary adjustments to his plans, was evident. However, André's health problems have inevitably affected his tour plans for 2024, causing significant changes to his performance schedule. This has had a ripple effect on the thousands of fans who had purchased tickets. Rumors about a heart attack further complicated matters, adding to the confusion surrounding his health. As a result, several shows, including 4 sold-out concerts in Mexico City from March 27 to March 30, 2024, were cancelled. This marked the first major disruption, with around 40,000 fans being disappointed after learning that the concerts would not take place as planned. Unfortunately, André was only able to perform 2 shows before his health took a turn for the worse. His management team later announced that his entire UK and Ireland tour would need to be rescheduled. Additionally, it appeared that his 12-show tour of Australia and New Zealand in October 2024 might not happen at all. This wasn't the first time André's health had caused such disruptions. He had to delay his UK arena shows in the past due to a member of the Johann Strauss Orchestra suffering a heart attack. As more details emerged about his current condition, it became clear that what was initially thought to be a minor illness was, in fact, a virus that had affected his vestibular nerve, impairing his balance. This revelation put an end to the rumors of a heart attack and explained why so many shows had to be cancelled. Despite these setbacks, fans can still hold on to hope for future performances, thanks to the careful planning that is underway to reschedule the affected dates. The people in charge are working hard to ensure that André's fans will eventually get the chance to experience his performances once he is fully recovered. The team has already begun working on rescheduling the cancelled concerts, with Pierre Rieu making it clear that any new shows in Mexico won't take place before 2025. The group is experienced with handling situations like this, as they've had to reschedule shows in the past. For instance, the UK arena shows from a previous tour were moved to new dates. Wembley arena shows were rescheduled to March 6 to 7, 2017, while concerts in Manchester, Birmingham, Nottingham, and Glasgow were moved to March 21 to 24, 2017. Pierre also mentioned that the number of shows is gradually decreasing. Even after André recovers, future tours may feature fewer performances, particularly in places that are farther to travel. In terms of ticket refunds and exchanges, André Rieu's team has made the process as smooth as possible for fans. For any cancelled shows, including those in Mexico, refunds will be processed starting on April 3, 2024. Tickets can be returned at the original point of purchase. And if a show is moved to a different date, the original tickets will still be valid for the new date. Fans who can't attend the rescheduled shows will still be able to receive refunds. The organization's policy states that if the event is cancelled due to force majeure, customers will be refunded, provided they submit their request with a valid, undamaged ticket within 12 weeks of the original event date. However, there are some stipulations. The refund policy specifies that there will be no reimbursement for service or processing fees, and the usual refund policy has a time limit. These details are outlined in the fine print of the organization's rules, ensuring that fans are informed of the process.